Hi guys, welcome back. We're going to talk about 3 new types of angles today. So, first we have parallel lines. Remember, parallel lines are 2 lines that never cross, and they can be denoted with 2 little arrows in the center, okay, or off center, okay? And that just shows, like, if they don't tell you that 2 lines are parallel, that you can assume that they're parallel. Sorry, my heater's going off, just ignore it. Okay? Now, sometimes parallel lines will be crossed by what's called a transversal. And a transversal is just a line that crosses 2 parallel lines. So like I could have a transversal going this way, I could have a transversal going up and down, right? It's just another line that crosses 2 parallel lines. And what happens is when the transversal is crossing 2 parallel lines, it forms 8 angles. And I have these angles labeled already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Again, sometimes they're labeled, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, it doesn't really matter what order they're labeled in as long as they're labeled. Okay? So again, transversal is the line that crosses 2 parallel lines. Okay? Our first type of angle, and make sure that you're looking at the one that says alternate interior. You might also want to have a couple different colors, okay, up to 4, or you can denote this with just different types of lines. Okay? So alternate interior. Well, alternate means on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay? And interior means inside the parallel lines. Okay? And also none of these angles will touch. Okay? They are not adjacent angles. So interior angles would be 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, because they're inside the parallel lines. Well, opposite sides of the transversal and not touching would be angle 3 and angle 6. And then angle 4 and angle 5. Okay. Now, usually I do a hands-on activity to kind of discover this, but we know that angle 3 is congruent to angle 6. So if I know that angle 3 is 50 degrees, then I also know angle 6 is 50 degrees. Angle 4 is congruent to angle 5. Okay. And again, these can be labeled differently, right? So we don't want to memorize that 3 and 6 go together. We want to memorize, okay, alternate means opposite sides of the transversal and interior means inside the parallel lines. Or just the general sense of these 2 are congruent, whatever they're called, 4 and 5, these 2 are congruent without calling them 4 and 5. Okay, let's go ahead and go to alternate exterior. Okay, again, exterior means outside the parallel lines. Okay, and we already talked about alternate being on opposite sides of the transversal. So my exterior are 1, 2, 7, and 8. Okay, so angle 1 is congruent to angle 8. Those are alternate exterior angles to each other. And angle 2 and angle 7 are alternate exterior angles to each other. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. And angle 1 is congruent to angle 8. I apologize. And angle 2 is congruent to angle 7. Okay, again, this is where kind of our colors can be super helpful. Okay, if you don't have different colors, you can do this with like 2 lines. So the 2 lines go together and the 1 lines go together. Okay. All right, our last one is corresponding. Okay, now corresponding are on the same side of the transversal, but one is interior and one is exterior. And by one, I mean angle. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video there if you need to catch up writing that. Okay, so angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding. Angle 3 and angle 7 are corresponding because, again, they're on the same side of the transversal, but one is exterior and one is interior. Here, one is interior, one is exterior, but they're on the same side of the transversal. This is the one students tend to have the hardest time with. 2 and 6 are corresponding, and then 4, whoop, that's really large. 4 and 8 are corresponding, okay? And again, we can write this saying, well, okay, angle 1 is congruent to angle 5, sorry. Angle 3 is congruent to angle 7. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 6. And angle 8 is congruent to angle 4, okay? So if we know angle 4 is 50 degrees, then we know angle 8 is also 50 degrees. Okay. So again, having some of these definitions written out, so if you need to go back, you can rewrite those, okay? And making sure that we really understand them word for word and not just be able to be like, oh, memorize 2 and 6 go together kind of deal. Because there's multiple things, like 2 is equal to 7 and 2 is equal to 6, right? So you don't want to have to memorize those. You want to just have to have an understanding of what each angle type is. All right, and that's for day 2. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.